folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallett Buildings. Happy Monday. We got a good show. Darrell, our engineers, here today. Going to be talking about comparisons of building types. Well, first, let's get started. Like every day, we like to start out to $500 discount to our military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. If you're one of those people and looking for a building, make sure you grab your $500 discount. Okay? Tiger Cash, folks, look, if you're in the market to upgrade your building to an elite or a signature, type in cash to a live feed like this and claim your $1,000 off your building, okay? This is work in progress. This is kind of like what we've been doing. Mallett, where's Mallett? We got some additional information coming, but right now you can see, and this is not all of it, folks. We still got concrete to put on here. We actually left off our buildings that we are erecting this week. So all in all, it's probably going to be about 30 different things or 30 different jobs that we're doing between building, erecting a building, pouring concrete, gutters, forming, the whole control joints, the whole 9 yards. So there might be even more than that. But this is a work in progress. We'll give you a little better slide tomorrow. But it just goes to show you that we're doing a lot of stuff here every week at Mallett, okay? Like I said, tomorrow we'll have a lot more things. If you've got any questions about that and want to know more, give us a call. Specials and promotions. We still got this thing. I think we got 6 left, folks. Out of 25, we're down to 6. So if you're in the market, make sure you come claim this prize. It's an awesome little deal. We're giving away this pit boss. I got one. I don't have this one. This is battery operated. I'm very excited about this because I love mine. But that's a $600 value. And then we're throwing in a $200 Academy gift card. So kind of like a his and her type present. So, you know, take advantage of this. I think we got 6 left. They just told me 6 left for the month of September. So here we go. Let's talk about some specials, folks. Now, remember, our classic building, folks, is way, way better than our competitor's best building. Okay, don't forget that. And we can prove that with our specs of these buildings and how we engineer and build these buildings. But let's go over to the specials that we have. Classic building, you got a 30 by 30 by 12, $19,999. These prices are very aggressive, folks. We dropped that down $4,000 or $5,000 on that building. 30 by 50 by 12 is $29,999, and you got a 40 by 60 by 12 for $46,999. Now, folks, remember, that's going to come. I'm going to show you what all that's going to come with, but that standard, all of our standard products that we put in this is superior than what our competitors do. They just can't build. They cannot build a Mallett building. On these buildings, you're going to get a 10 by 10 roll-up door, 36-inch walk-through door, 4,000 PSI. Our competitors use 3,000. We are 33% stronger, okay? 4-year workmanship warranty, 130 mile an hour wind rating, 26 gauge metal standard. Our competitors are going to give you 29 gauge. Concrete under every post as a pad. Our competitors don't do that, folks. Cable retention system, superior with uplift protection. That's where we tie all your posts underneath that slab with aircraft cable, and it's just superior out there. I mean, we got proofers in the pudding, Darrell K's, and many, many more buildings. The building that I'm standing in has been through 16 hurricanes. All right, because I believe that it's because a lot to do with that cable retention system. 2 by 8 scissor truss, folks. They can't make it, they can't buy it, okay? The reason why we can do that is we have our own truss plant here, and we can engineer those, build those, and put them on your building so you can have the best building in the country, and that's what we do, okay? So that is the classic building. Number 1, kiln-dried treated lumber on all of our buildings, from head to toe, okay? So our trusses, our competitors are going to give you whitewood, so be careful. And their trusses are going to be 2 by 6 with 2 by 4 interwebbing. And also, peace of mind, 26 years experience. We are a licensed engineer firm here. You'll meet Darrell in a minute. We have our residential and commercial contractors license. So you got peace of mind when you do business. We've been doing this for 26 years. let's go on to our Elite series. Elite is the best of the best. Why? Because we're adding things like gutter and gutter brushes. We're adding value into this building that if you went and bought, you're going to pay way, way more for. Control joints, post protectors, insulated windows, roof and wall insulation, a bunch more, folks, in this. We're tightening up the post spacing and the truss spacing on this. That's why these buildings, as of right now, is going to give you 145 mile an hour wind load. All right, so specials on this, you got a 30 by 50 for $43,998. You got a 40 by 50 for $53,950. You got a 40 by 60 for $61,598. Now look, I didn't give you the back number. The back number indicates the height of your building. The reason why I didn't do that is because we're letting you pick your height. From 12 to 16, we normally have to charge for that. It's more material, more labor, more everything. We normally charge. This week, we're giving it to you. That's a $7,000 value that we're throwing in with this package. Not only that, but on the Elite series, you get to pick your size roll-up door. 10 by 10, 12 by 12, or 12 by 14 roll-up door. That's a $3,000, I think, value. So altogether, $10,000, folks, that we're giving you on the best building in the country. Hands down, nobody can compare to our building. We have the specs to prove it. So anyway, that's some good specials going on right now with our Elite. We're still running these Cajun Oasis. All right, Cajun Oasis is an Elite building. Everything that I just told you in the building behind me, or before this slide, except we're throwing in a electrical package and we're throwing in a wall-mounted AC. Okay, so when we're finished these two buildings, you turn on the lights, turn on the AC, and you can build that thing out to however you want on the inside. Anyhow, we got a 20 by 30 by 12 for $29,999. We got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $75,000. Okay, why? Because everything you're getting in this building, all right, like I said, electrical, AC, and the best building in the country, which is the Elite series. All right, so grab hold of that. We've been running those specials. And by the way, we can add the wall-mounted units and electrical package on any building that you buy from us. All you got to do is ask our building specialist to give you a quote on that. All right, now, remember our Ambassador Club. We got 3 different levels. This is where we're going to give you prizes, gifts, monthly newsletter. What is an ambassador? Well, an ambassador is somebody that doesn't mind showing their building to people that may be interested, and then they get a referral fee, $200 referral fee for doing that. So if you're in the market, or if you got a Mallett building and want to become an ambassador, let us know and we'll get you hooked up for these prizes and the referral checks. Now, on the other hand, if you are a customer and wanting to walk in and talk to a customer, not from us or anybody here, we'll set you up, our building specialist, to find out where you are. More than likely, we have an ambassador close to you, and you can go in there and visit with them, walk through their building, and they'll tell you all about their experience, okay? So that's the ambassador. 5 red flags. We always like to go through that, folks. Look, doesn't it make sense? Wait, hold on. Let's see what we got. What we got? Reply to Bobby LaFleur. Mallett builds the best. Thank you, Mr. LaFleur. Thank you for, let's see, Tim Tackett does the HVAC reverse cycle to provide heat. Yes, it has a heat. It doesn't reverse cycle. I don't know. But Tim, you're talking that engineering term to me, man. You know, I'm just simple. So it does have a heat strip in it. I hope that answers your question, Tim. Don't put me on the spot like that. But thank you, Mr. Bobby LaFleur. We appreciate it. And Tim, thank you as always. We love to see you join our lives. So getting back to the red flags, folks, look. Doesn't it make sense to make sure that who you're going to do business with has the proper licensure and or business license? You can find out about that company. A year's in business at the Secretary of State. It's a free website. That's where we get all our information. We're not just up here just making this stuff up. What we talk about is up here on live at Mallett is factual information. Licensure. You can find that out on the LSLBC. You can look for that to make sure they have a proper contractor's license, okay? It might be a red flag, folks, if they don't. Contractor violations. That's where you also can see if they are a contractor, if they have any violations. I'm proud to say after 26 years we have none. All right, most of our competitors do, however, have violations. So look that up. Reviews on the BBB. It does make sense to me if you're going to review a lawnmower that you're going to buy. To me, it makes sense to have reviews. We have over 500 plus reviews on Google and BBB. Most of our competitors don't. They don't have any. So look, we're giving you factual information. You do your own due diligence and figure all that out. We're giving you where you can go and find that. Lastly, visit the contractor facility. I think it's a red flag personally if you're going to do business in the front seat of somebody's car and you happen to look in the back and see all their tools scattered around, and that's where you're doing business. Folks, that's a red flag. They might not be invested in themselves to be here for the long haul, like just a small office somewhere, or a house office, something, okay? Make sure that's a sign, a red flag that they might just be here after your building's built. Just make sure you understand that. Now, why choose Mallett? I kind of been talking about this the whole way, but let's go over it one more time. Our competitors use 6x6 posts, 2x6 truss. Most of the time their truss are going to be white wood with 2x4 inner webbing. 2x8 headers, okay? We use 2x12 double headers. They use 2x8 headers. 29 gauge metal on roof and wall, we use 26 gauge, okay? It's a thicker metal. One free walk-through door, 40-year standard metal warranty. What we do over here in Mallett, though, however, is you got a 10-year workmanship warranty on #1 kill-dry MCA treated lumber, okay? From head to toe. 2x8 scissor truss, superior than a 2x6. They can't buy it and they can't build it. 5-on-12 roof pitch. They're not giving you that, folks. Most of our competitors are going to be 3-on-12 or 4-on-12. 5-on-12 is aesthetically way pleasing to the eye, and it's going to, for maintenance, it gets all that stuff off your roof a whole lot faster. You don't have you're not going to have pine needles on a 5-on-12 roof that's going to get around your screws and start causing problems around your gasket. 2 free roll-up doors, free roof and wall installation, 6-inch seamless gutter and gutter brushes, 2 3x5 insulated windows, lifetime warranty against termite, rust, rot, and fungal decay, folks. That's not it. Continuous ridge vent, 6-inch, not 4-inch like our competitors, 6-inch, 4,000 PSI, and we include microfiber in there. Take a second and tell you the importance of that. 6-inch is 2.5 times stronger than 4-inch, folks. 4,000 is 33% stronger than 3,000 PSI. 4,000 is standard across all of our buildings. We're going to add microfiber instead of that little wire mesh. Why? We want to take the guesswork out of it, folks. We know that by adding a bag of microfiber per yard, we're getting the whole volume. We're strengthening up the whole volume of your concrete. Whereas if you use that wire mesh and they put too much, that rusty wire mesh, and they put too much water in their concrete, which they probably will, and that thing's going to sink to the bottom. You just don't know. It could sink to the bottom. We don't like guessing. We like factual information. We want to build you the best building. I think we do that. Zac screws. That's the premium screws that cover your gasket. Our competitors don't do that, folks. Remote picture and monitoring. That's where we record everything from your project, from the time it leaves this building all the way till your gutters are done. All right? I'm proud of that. We can catch problems before they occur and see many things. Somebody's monitoring this all the time. Pictures come right now. Since I've been doing this, we probably got 100 pictures. So engineered cable retention system, I can't speak enough about that. It's superior than anything out there, folks. Our competitors just don't do that. All right, 145, as of now, 145 mile an hour wind load. Post pads under every post. Our competitors don't do that. All metal screws, I talked about that. Post protected skirt boards. Folks, it's just the best building in the country. I can't say it enough. If you want to talk about it, please give me a call. Give our building specialist a call. Other than that, I think I did that today. Now we're going to have Darrell come up and talk to you. I think it's a pretty interesting show for you today. Here's Darrell.
Hey, I'm Darrell, the engineer here at Mallett, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the three common building types. And let's see, let's see, I don't see. So, some kind of way I didn't get my first picture. So, this big picture is a blow up of an anchor bolt, what they call a wedge anchor, and you can see this little sleeve down there at the bottom, and you may not know this, but you may. The way it works is you drill a hole and you blow the hole out so that it's clean, and then you take a hammer and you hit that anchor, and as you hit that top of that anchor, this wedge expands, and that's what holds, that's what creates the tension in the bolt that holds down the building. And that's what a VersaTube building uses. And I don't know a whole lot about VersaTube, and I'm very hesitant to speak ill of my fellow engineers because of professional obligations and professional rules and professional courtesy. I don't know if y'all have heard that terrible joke about the engineer and the lawyer and the doctor being in the lifeboat, and they can see the island, and so they're in shark-infested waters, and so they run out of food and they have to make the decision to swim to shore. And so the engineer dives in and he's eaten by the sharks. And then the doctor dives in and he's eaten by the sharks. And then the lawyer dives in and he swims safely to the shore. And someone asks why the lawyer survives, and he says, because of professional courtesy. So I have professional courtesy among my engineer buddies too, and I'm not saying that a VersaTube is going to blow down, but they seem kind of flimsy. And that's what holds them down. A little half-inch bolt every 5 feet is what holds down, resists wind load. Now, this is a metal building, an engineered metal building where you have these big vents at 25 to 30 feet on center, 20 feet on center sometimes. And then you have wall purlins and roof purlins, just like we have wall purlins and roof purlins. Now, and obviously metal buildings, they're stamped, they're designed in the by ANSI. There's regulations for the way they do them. And there's steel manuals that you can use and design according to nationally and worldwide recognized standards. But now I have this photo, and just looking at this building, it really looks very similar to a Mallett building. And the only difference is this building is built with a steel frame rather than a wood frame. Now, the biggest difference between our building and a steel building is the cost of the building, the cost of putting the building up, and the cost of the foundation. And it's going to be much more, and that's why I talk about our building being the best use of your money, the most economical use of your money, the most efficiently engineered building, because you just have, sometimes in a steel building, you have more capacity than you need in these big steel vents, and our building works just as well. You even have the same, the clearances. There you see this big roll-up door. There's a big roll-up door, same thing. And there's another one. And it's all, there's just no point in using steel if the cost is the same. Now, I wanted, oh, you missed it. Okay. So there's I have this, this research and technology report from 2012, and it says in October 2012, the latest version of the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers engineering practice for the design of shallow post foundations was approved by ANSI, which is the American National Standards Institute. Now, I know that probably sounds boring to you, but you know, our whole world is a competitive market, as I always talk about, and you know, we compete against the steel industry. So there's been steel manuals forever and ever. In fact, I have a copy of my daddy's steel manual that he had at LSU in the 1950s. And my daddy had a real problem with hanging on to things, and so inside his steel manual it says, "If found, please return to the Goalpost Restaurant," which the Goalpost Restaurant was right off of Highland at LSU, and my daddy worked at the Goalpost Restaurant and he lived upstairs. And so anyway, there's been steel manuals forever. And so in order to compete with the steel manufacturers, the folks involved in post frame knew that we needed to have a nationally recognized method of design, not something that was just made up. You know, engineers don't make up anything. We have to find a formula that everybody will believe in. And so we've had formulas for the embedment of post for like 100 years. And so what these folks did is they worked and put together the calculations, and our calculations, our method of design for shallow foundation of these posts was approved in 2012 by this American National Standard Institute. So now we have this method that we can say nationally that this post will work, and it will work in terms of the foundation bearing strength. We don't want the post to sink. In terms of uplift, we don't want the post to pull out of the ground. And lateral strength, we don't want the post to move as a result of wind load. And so that's how our posts are designed. And of course, you know, the embedment of the post is critical. I don't know if you would say the most important part, but it may be the most important part, because and so that's how we do that. The post frame manual that I talk about all the time has chapter 5, which is devoted to this shallow post foundation design. And so the other thing that I wanted to tell you, and of course these are all just methods of post, and we don't use any of these. We use something that's similar to that. And then the other thing that I wanted to tell you, and I talk about this all the time, that Mr. Mallett has a commitment to excellence, and he builds his building stronger than he has to. And that is not the way engineered metal buildings are built. Let me go back to that slide, that picture just real quick. Whenever they design this vent, whenever they design these purlins, especially these main vents that hold the building up, they are designed down to the T, just right down to the nub of what they have to be in order to meet the design wind load. Why are they designed like that? Well, because it's a competitive business. And the bigger that bent is, the more it weighs. And the more it weighs, the more it costs. And they don't want to lose a bid because they've built it in excess. So if the wind load, if the design wind load is 140, then that building is going to be, those bents are going to be designed right to 140. But here in Mallett, you know, Mr. Mallett loves his 2x8 trusses. And, you know, and of course, you know this, the 2x8 is the bottom cord and the top cord. And now we're building even the intermediate in the webbing as 2x8. And so today we had our designer run some numbers, and we found that this truss that we're selling for our 145 mile an hour buildings is capable of withstanding a wind load of 170 miles an hour. Now, of course, Mr. Mallett wants me to say, well, can the whole building withstand 170? And I'm not ready to say that yet. I've got to run numbers and see what we'd have to do to say that. But we can say, just like I've been telling you, that he builds it stronger than it has to be built. And that's a commitment to excellence. So you're getting more, you're getting a stouter product, a stronger product than you have to get. And that's a commitment to excellence. And so, you know, I always say, you know, so you got the three choices. You got the Mallett building, and you got the steel building, and you got the VersaTube building held down by the bolts. And of course, you know which one I pick. I pick the Mallett building. I just think it's a great building. It's a great price, but it's also just an excellent built structure. Well, that's all for today, and I will see you next week. Y'all have a good week.